Hey guys, welcome back. So in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing and showing you how I'm going to clean one of my baseball caps. I chose the White Sox hat out of the three that I own because I'm from Chicago, so this is the one I chose. It's got a bunch of dark spots here and there. It's got hair on it. It's got a bunch of fingerprints on this side. So we're basically just going to be reviewing how to clean. How I'm going to be showing you how I clean this and how I'm going to get it to look better than it does now. Probably like brand new. We'll see. The tools I'll be using for this is a toothbrush right here. It's going to be used to gently scrub the spots of the hat ever so slightly. I can't over scrub it because if I do, I'm going to be messing up the material and I'm going to be ruining the hat, so I'm going to be doing it very gently. The next item I have is a bowl or a cup full of laundry detergent mixed with warm water. Instead, I didn't use anything else. This is, based on my research, one of the best things to use. Then we're going to be using a lint roller here to get the hairs off and excess dust and dirt and stuff off of it. And then when we're done cleaning it, when we're done scrubbing it and let it dry, we're going to go over it with a washcloth, a dry washcloth. Go over it and dry it with this. So let's just get started. So the first thing we're going to do is basically, I'm going to give you a better view of it. There's some dust like on this side, dust on the back. I know you probably can't see that well, but it's really bad. And then here, you should be able to see that clear as day. Completely dirty on the bottom. So first thing we're going to do is going to go over it with the lint roller here. So you just kind of go over it like this. There's like a bunch of excess dirt on it. You want to make sure that you don't go over it too hard, but you need to go a little, you got to put a little pressure into it. Put a little elbow grease into it, go ahead. So what I'm doing is I'm just going over it to get the hairs off. This is already disgusting, as you can kind of see. It's already like got a bunch of stuff on it. It shouldn't. That's good. And this is by far my favorite hat. So I want to keep it as nice as I can. Believe it or not, these things are not cheap. You know, especially with everything going on nowadays. Everything's going up. So we just went over it with the lint roller, so we're done with this now. So as you can see, the hair that was on there before, these white hairs, it's no longer covered in like hair. Kind of just dirty now. So what we'll be doing is we'll back this up. We're going to be using this pretty much. Like I showed you before, the detergent. I'm going to put this in there. It's already mixed up, but I guess you can just get it like that. And then we're going to ever so slightly, once I get some on there, I'll move this out the way. Basically, since we have this out, actually let's put it down here. So actually, we're going to start the scrubbing process now. So I guess we'll start like up here. You can see this where the dirt is. So you're not really going to be scrubbing too hard. You're not going to be scrubbing too hard. You're just going to be kind of going over the spots that are kind of dirty. The hardest part for me is going to be this S part right here, because that's where if you scrub hard, you're not, that's something you really can't come back from. Let's see, there's a spot here. I mean, I really think I can just go over the whole hat basically, because most of it's dirty anyways, and I actually use it. So when I go to work, I actually wear it. I shouldn't be, because it's not the cleanest place where I work. So, but again, it's my favorite. It's the best hat, my favorite hat that I have. So, let's see. Yeah, okay, grab it. Well, actually, instead of just trying to get certain spots, we're gonna actually kind of try to go around the whole thing, basically, because that'll make more sense. So not too hard, like I said, just not hard. Just gently go over it. And basically just try not to go over the like the S, because that's probably what I'm gonna do last. Just kind of do it very slowly. I think most of the spots here that I'm looking at are good. You can go over it. So yeah, when I was at work Friday, I actually ended up I was on a forklift. I was driving around, and you're supposed to leave when there's no trailer at a dock door. You're supposed to have it shut. That's like the rule. They didn't, so when I went past it, it was really windy where I'm at, so it ended up just blowing my hat off my head, and then it just fell on the ground. And a dock floor is not really the cleanest. It's actually one of the more dirtier places, I think. So this fell off and it got even dirtier, so that didn't help. But this was just a good opportunity for me to clean it. So here, I think we pretty much got all the sides. As you can see, we kind of just hit the spots that were pretty bad. We're gonna go, the next thing we're gonna do is hit this right here, because these are covered. This whole bottom side is just covered in fingerprints, and it sucks, but I've seen most people take the hats and put them in like a sink and then go over them, like soak them in water and then try to clean them that way. That's really not likely to work. I think it works against you, because you're basically soaking the hat and the material is not that strong as it is, as we all know. I mean, it's good material, but that's why, again, I told you that I'm not going to be scrubbing too hard. I'm going to be going over it kind of light. It might be kind of difficult to clean this 100%, but I'm going to give it my best shot. Okay. Now the really tricky part here is that we're going to actually be working on the top of this S right here. You can see that in the very corner right here. That is completely, like, it's kind of dark. This is the part where I have to really focus and pay attention, because we're going to be very lightly getting top. See, just like that. It's not too bad. I mean, the S is dirty, but it's not horrible. If you gently work in the spots that you see are disgusting, you're more likely to see success. And it's better to work smart, not hard. So I think we're done right there, because I can kind of start seeing the S is a little sensitive, like up there, so. Okay. Well, it looks like the dirt's gone to me on that little spot. Okay. This might be a little more difficult, honestly, but and we're not going to clean, I'm not going to clean any of this, the inside, because that's just going to ruin it even more, so I'm just going to leave it. So basically we've just went over pretty much the entire hat. The S right here was going to be the hardest part, but it ended up being the easiest because you don't have to put that much pressure on it. And yeah, I think did a pretty good job. So now it wasn't soaking wet, but we can kind of go over it with the rag now. I don't think it's going to really make a difference at this point, because it's not that wet. And we don't really need to give it time to dry, because it's not even, there's just some spots here and there that are wet. So I think the last thing, let me see, I've pretty much cleaned it. So if you see, as you seen in the beginning of the video, there was all those spots. So if you look at the S right there, there's like no more black spots that I see. All the spots that were back here, like all the brown like fingerprints, they're not there anymore. As far as here, I'll just have to let it dry, but it looks good to me, better than it did. This stuff that you see here is just wet spots, but that'll dry out. Looks pretty, like looks 90% better than it looked before. Like it looks way better than it did when I started. But yeah, after all the research I kind of did, the reason we use the detergent is because the soap, I think, like that I was going to use dish soap, but the problem was it was gonna like probably stain it and stuff like that. So I got detergent, looked it up, and it just seemed like it was like it was gonna be like the best working thing that it can use. So that's why you use that. I can probably go over this one last time with the lint roller for the finishing touches. These things are, just make sure if you're gonna go for something like this, you stick to like a black cap or like red or dark colored hat, because the light colors, if you're not careful, you know, it won't be that really great. So yeah, just make sure you take care of that. Okay, so basically, I'll see if this is like the best view I think I can get because of the lighting in here. I apologize in advance, but if you can see it all, it looks way better. There's like an overview of like the sides and the back. Way cleaner. So yeah, it actually worked out well. I was going to use some of the products in my shoe cleaning kit that you've seen in my previous video, but there's not going to be any use for any of that stuff, just because, as you can see, there's minimal steps here. You just had to go over it, wash it, dry it, the end. I mean, it wasn't too intricate or too difficult. But yeah, I'd suggest if you're going to clean your hat, a lot of people for some reason put it in the sink and soak it and then clean it that way. You could, just depends what kind of hat, but for me personally, it's preference. I chose to do it this way because you're not soaking it. But we'll just wait for that to dry. Other than that, this is like clean except these wet spots. Again, the S is like 100% better. And black you can't really tell anyways, but me personally, because I'm clean, I like to keep my stuff as tidy as I can. But thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Thank all of you for watching.